Okay, good morning, everyone. Depending on your location, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, my name is Sir Chris. I'm new in this platform, but I'll be teaching you guys mathematics and some other science subjects. So please, before we proceed, I would want to seek that you subscribe to our channel and like what we are doing. Okay, let's start with mathematics. Mathematics. In today's topic, we shall be discussing fraction. Now, what is fraction? Fraction is part of a whole. Fraction is part of a whole. Okay, take for instance, when you have about 200 students in a class, and you want to, from these 200 students, you want to get the number of girls that are present in that class. So assuming the number of girls is, say, 20 girls, then it means you have 20 girls out of these 200 students. The total students 200, then out of these 200 you have 20 to be girls. Because of this, 20 is part of this 200. Why this 200 is the whole number, the whole student. This 20 is part of this 200. Then you say that the fraction of girls in that class now will be 20 all over 200. You see? 20 over 200. It has formed a fraction. That is 20 out of 200 students are girls. Is that clear? Then, for the case of boys, you see that if you want to get the number of boys present in this class, you say 20 minus, 200 minus 20, and that will give you 180 boys, which means you have total of 180 boys in this class. Then the fraction of girls to boys will now give you what? It will give you 20 over 180. That's the fraction of girls to boys in this class. All right, let's proceed. We have parts of what? We have parts of fraction. We have parts of fraction. Parts of fraction. We have the numerator and the denominator. So, assuming we have something of this nature, a over b, to be a fraction, a over b as our fraction. A is numerator, while b here is our denominator. And this gives you the two parts of fraction that we have. So the one on top is your numerator, while the one below, that is below this bar line, is your denominator. And the denominator is dividing the numerator. From this, we now divide fraction into three main types or forms, where we have proper fraction, forms of fraction, we have proper fraction, A. B, we have improper fraction. Then C, we have mixed fraction. So, example of proper fraction. Example of proper fraction is seen, or a fraction is said to be proper when the denominator is greater than the numerator. Let me say it again. I said that a fraction is said to be proper when the denominator is greater than the numerator. When the denominator is greater than numerator. That is when the numerator, I mean denominator is greater than numerator. You say that a fraction is proper. That means, looking at this, you see that the denominator, b, will be able to carry this or to lift this numerator, a, on its head. So you say it is proper. Yes, because it is always quoted that the younger should, the elder should bear the younger. Do you understand? So we now bear this. This b will bear this a. Because it is bigger than a, it is proper normally. But when the inverse becomes the case, okay, take for example, when you have something like 2 over 3, this is a very good example of proper fraction. You see, 4 over 5 is a very good example of proper fraction, etc. This is proper fraction. But when you have a fraction of this form, example of improper fraction, a fraction is said to be improper when a fraction is said to be improper when the denominator is less than the numerator. Like, look at this. When this denominator is less than numerator, then you said that that fraction is what? Improper fraction. Improper fraction. Like when a child of 5 years is now lifting, bearing a man of 20 years on his head, then it is improper. And that's why we say that when this denominator under is less than the numerator, we say that this fraction is improper. Example, 3 over 2 is an improper fraction. 5 over 4 is an improper fraction, etc. Mixed fraction. A fraction is said to be mixed. A fraction is said to be mixed when there is involvement of whole number and fraction. Involvement of whole number and what? And what? And fraction. That is improper fraction. When there is combination, that is a combination of whole number and improper fraction, will give you mixed fraction. Is that clear now?